Hi, I'm Travis Markwood with the Lancaster-Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce. This is Business Forward. We're here with special guest chamber member Dave Levesey. He's the owner-operator here of Buckeye Lake Marina over in Millersport. Dave, glad to be here and have you on our show.
Well, first of all, welcome to Buckeye Lake.
Absolutely.
This is a fun place to be, especially in the summertime, and we finally have a break in the weather, so welcome again.
Absolutely. We are having some nice weather out there, and we're going to go take a look at the docks here after a while. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about the history of Buckeye Lake Marina. You've been here for a while, doing a lot of good things in terms of service for boats and marine supplies. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've been in the business a little more than 40 years, and I know I don't look it, but it has. It's been a little in excess of 40 years. I work here with my two sons, Aaron and Tim,
Okay.
and eventually I'd like to turn the business over to them and actually have them take it on full time. But it's quite a business. I came to work here when it was actually called Millersport Marina.
Okay.
And then about 1990, I was able to buy the business and change the name to Buckeye Lake Marina. And that's how we operate today. Thank you.
Okay, gotcha. Well, right now we're standing inside what is considered the parts shop, and I'm looking around and I see water skis, wakeboards, bilge pumps, you name it, it's in here.
Right. And one of the things when you're in a business like ours, a recreational business, people need it now. They don't need it tomorrow or the next day, but they need it right now because they don't want any downtime as far as their boat's concerned. So a lot of things are either on a need basis or an impulse item. So
Sure.
we try to provide everything, and particularly in parts. We carry parts for almost every engine made and try to have it on the shelf. Now, occasionally you may have something that you don't have, but that's going to be a rarity.
Sure, absolutely. You can imagine a family coming out to the lake for a day, they uncover the boat, and they figure out something's broke. They hightail it over here, and you got to be ready for them, right?
You definitely don't want to interfere with their downtime. You
Right.
want because people are very restrictive on the amount of time they have to recreate. So it's very important that you have what they need when they need it.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk just a little bit more in depth about some of the inventory you have here. Again, you have the recreational things like water skis and tubes and ropes and things to have fun, but also some of the more, we got electronics and all kinds of things here.
Yeah, we carry pretty much everything as far as radios and all the life jackets required, all the ski vests required. But we also carry the items that you may need to service your boat, like the oils and that sort of thing. So pretty much everything that's needed to go boating.
Absolutely. Well, we met the staff here back at the counter, a lot of nice folks back here. You've got a great service counter. How's that work? You walk in, you need something, go talk to these folks?
Right. We have a service manager who oversees the service needs of the marina. And consequently, he can help you with whatever those needs may be.
Absolutely. And I have to compliment you on your collection of kind of antique motors and some other marine things you have around here. You've been collecting that over the years, David?
Well, yeah, and some of these engines are almost as old as me. Starting out, I have a 1911 Evinrude, and I think about Ollie Evinrude, who invented the outboard engine. And he probably built that himself. So I've always been fascinated by, the old technology that was used and how things have progressed. And in today's technology, the engines are very, very complicated. And the only way you can work on it's with a laptop. So things have changed dramatically over the last 100 years.
Absolutely. Well, I know boats have changed in general over the last 100 years for sure, and I think we're headed out to the showroom here next where Jared with the Chamber of Commerce is going to be interviewing one of your co-workers and happens to be your son as well, correct?
Sure, that's right,
All
Tim.
Right. Absolutely. Well, let's go take a look at some of these new boats out in the showroom.
Welcome back to Business Forward. I'm Jared Kale with the Lancaster-Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce, and we've moved over into the showroom here at Buckeye Lake Marina, and we're here with Tim Levesey, Dave's son, who we spoke to in just a few minutes ago. We're in here looking around at some of the boats that we've got in here, and right now we're standing on a great Bennington boat. I'm getting familiar with the brands here. Let's first of all talk about some of the brands that you carry here at Buckeye Lake Marina. I see pontoons, speedboats, things like that. Run through some of what you carry here in stock.
Okay, we carry a wide range of boats. We have 6 different lines. We carry Bennington pontoons. We carry South Bay Berkshire pontoons. They're from the same company. We carry Hurricane fiberglass boats and Rinker fiberglass and Crown Line fiberglass boats.
Okay, and like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, we're standing on one of the pontoons actually currently, and we're on a Bennington pontoon. These pontoons are maybe a little bit different than what I remember seeing 15 years ago. Things have changed a little bit. I see they go a little faster now. They've got some more amenities in them. It's a little different. The pontoon market's definitely changed. Talk about kind of the way things have changed with pontoons as compared to maybe what they used to be.
Yeah, at one time for pontoons, it used to pretty much bring your own furniture on your pontoon boat. Now the furniture on the pontoon is pretty much nicer than what you see in your home at times. There's been a huge transformation the last 6-7 years in pontoons. They've become more of just a float boat to a boat where you can do all your sporting activities, pull tubes, pull wakeboarders, and the whole 9 yards. So essentially you've seen a transformation of people who used to buy fiberglass boats and now they're buying pontoons. And the reason why they're doing that, you have a lot more space and room on them, and you can do all the water activities on the pontoon that you could do on a fiberglass boat. So that's really changed the market in the sense of people are shifting and gravitating more to the pontoon side of things.
Excellent. As I'm looking around, I see things like sinks. I see things like bar areas, refrigerators, speakers like you would see, like elaborate sound systems. Anything you want is all on these pontoons.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the things it's changed dramatically. I mean, you take this pontoon we're sitting on, this is your traditional layout, and that's for whatever you've seen on pontoons. Now you go over here to this Bennington here, and there's a bar on it with bar stools, and you have some with rear loungers, and they've really changed the layouts and styles of them, and that's really it's got people's attention. Forever they've saw pontoons with a traditional layout like this one. Well, now they're seeing different layouts, and it really sparks the interest of getting people to trade their traditional pontoons in on something like this.
Excellent. And as I understand, you can finance boats?
Yep, absolutely. You can finance them longer term than a vehicle, and we wide range of things. So
excellent. So somebody's at home and they're thinking, that's interesting. Pontooning's a little different than what I thought. I've never driven a boat. I know nothing about boats. They can just stop in and you can talk with them and maybe show them where they could get started, show them how easy it is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When we walk them through the whole process, we're on the water here, so it makes it easy for us to take them out on the water for the first time boat buyer. A lot of people come in never driven a boat, so we try to get them comfortable with that process.
Okay, excellent. Now, what are the hours here at the showroom at Buckeye Lake Marina?
Right now, our summer hours are 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday, and 1 to 6 on Sunday.
Okay, excellent. Now, let's touch on some of the maybe the specific boats that we've got here. Since we're standing on one of the Benningtons, we'll talk about those. I see some letters, S's, R, Q. Talk about what some of those numbers mean and what series those are.
Every line, in a sense, has different levels, and Bennington uses a letter for theirs. So their bottom of the level, entry level's an S, then it jumps up to a G, then an R, then a Q. And what really changes that is your furniture sets, and it really jump up in quality and a luxury on the higher end stuff. So.
Okay, and we'd be amiss if we didn't talk about maybe the deck boat and kind of how you get the speed and some of the more roomy construction, so where you can do a little bit more than you could on just a traditional V-shaped hull or open bow. Talk about maybe I think you mentioned Hurricane was one of the brands.
Yeah, Hurricane brand, that's what their notoriety is deck boats, and they started that back in the 70s, and they've been building Hurricanes for a long period of time. And what you get is a wider front end, and it's able to handle more people. And compared to a regular runabout where the V's very pointed on the front and your seating's narrower on it, on the deck boats it opens the space up on it, so you have more free room in the front end to sit people down, their knees aren't banging up against each other.
Excellent. And then Crown Line was another brand you mentioned. Talk about Crown Line a little bit.
Yeah, Crown Line, we've had that brand for 18 years now, and they're a high-end boat. They build deck boats also. They got a mix of open bows, cuddies, cruisers. They build up to a 35-footer. So there's a wide range. We traditionally carry stuff 24, 25 foot and below, but it's a high-end brand, and they have a wide range of bow riders and a lot of other layouts for the consumer.
Okay. And I stop in and I'm interested in a used boat. Do you have those?
Yeah, absolutely we do. We take numerous trades in, so we have currently, a lot of wide range of used boats, pontoons, fiberglass. We'll take a motorcycle in from time to time, or even an RV. So, we do have a wide range of used boats.
Okay, excellent. Now, if somebody's interested in maybe looking at some of these boats, are they on the website?
We try to keep them all on there. Right now, after the last week or so, there's some that we don't have on there, but we'll get them on there. So our current inventory is close, but there is some boats that aren't on there currently. So
okay, and both used and new?
Yes.
Okay, great. If somebody's interested in that website, contact information, all of that?
The website's BuckeyeLakeMarina.com. Contact information's on there, but phone number 740-467-2697.
Okay, excellent. And of course, we have to go check out the water and look at the docks here. We are at a marina, so I think Travis is over there. We're going to check in with him. Welcome back to Business Forward. I'm Jared Kale with the Lancaster-Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce, and this is the Young Professional Spotlight, sponsored by Cryo Communications. Today, our spotlight is on Eric Croft. He's the branch manager of the East Main Street location of Fairfield National Bank. Welcome, Eric.
Hey, how's it going today?
Doing fine. Let's jump right in and talk about a little bit about yourself and your background, maybe where you went to college, professional interests, things like that.
Well, I started OU 2006 at OUL. I went in there completely undecided on what my major should be, and then I had Professor Alt's class. I think he retired a couple years ago, and he taught economics, and I enjoyed it. It was interesting. Didn't have anything like that in my high school that I went to. And studied that, and then my senior year I picked up on finance. Mainly it's just in all honesty, just to make my resume look better. It was no true love of that, but it ended up pairing really well with an economics degree. Then after that, within a few months of graduating down at OU Athens, I came up here and started working at Fairfield National.
Okay, talk a little bit about your time at Fairfield National. I know you've been at a couple different branches, I believe. Mm-hmm. You've kind of moved up a few different positions there, and now you're the branch manager. Talk a little bit about your path there at Fairfield National.
Yeah. So it started in 2010. They had a management associate program, and it's pretty much college right after college. It's about a year-long study. There's no exact time frame where you go around to all the departments and services that Fairfield National Bank offers, and you just learn with people that have been in the banking profession for 20, 30 years that are employed there, and after that they kind of put you where their needs are and where your skills have demonstrated you should be. And that's when I went out to the Meyer branch, and then since June I've been at the East Main location.
Okay, excellent. And I know something about Fairfield National Bank that I've noticed and I think is well known in our community. You guys do a lot of volunteering through F&B Cares and through different initiatives. Talk a little bit about maybe the volunteering that you do through Fairfield National and maybe out on your own as well.
For the most part, the amount of volunteering I've done in the community definitely picked up with Fairfield National. They do a pretty good job at communicating what the needs are for different organizations in Fairfield County and then letting us know there might be a need here. They give us that information and set it up pretty nicely. So just in May, I know we have FMB Cares Day. And I think last year we visited 12 or so organizations, and they just told us what their needs were for an 8 to 12 hour time frame, and we went and did that. So that's happening again in May. On a personal level outside of the bank, Young Professionals in Lancaster is the group I'm involved in, and that's the most of my volunteer time is spent there.
Excellent. Now, you did mention the Young Professionals of Lancaster, and that's a group that was started by the Chamber of Commerce to help plug young professionals into the community and get them involved in the Chamber of Commerce and help, I guess, keep young talent here in the community and people like yourself that are making an impact. Talk a little bit about your involvement in the Young Professionals of Lancaster. You're on our board and you help us with our finances, the treasurer duties there. Talk a little bit about that.
So going back to when I started at Fairfield National Bank. When I left school in Athens, Lancaster wasn't a blip on my radar. I was looking mainly at Columbus, bigger city areas, because really I just didn't know. It's not that I had anything against Lancaster. I was born in Sugar Grove, loved the area. I just didn't know opportunities were available. And if it wasn't for my brother letting me know about the opportunity at FNB, I wouldn't have searched here. And that's kind of what drew me to the young professionals is I don't want good young workforce leaving just because they don't know about the opportunities. I think that's one of our goals is definitely just that communication between the needs of the community and letting people know where jobs are available, where organizations, where you go into different social functions, kind of like Lancaster Alive, just with their kickball. We're doing a team with that, just to get people involved and have a reason to stay, meet people, meet opportunities, and that's why it's the group I chose to pick, because I have a reason to, just from where in 2010 I didn't anticipate working here, and I'm glad I did in Lancaster.
Yeah, and you've been here for multiple years since.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. Now we talked about a lot of professional and a lot of work history, things like that. Well, I guess what do you do when you're not working? What are some of your hobbies, things you enjoy outside of work and professional interests?
Well, I moonlight as a guitarist and singer for the band Go Analog. I did that in college. Took a couple year hiatus from it, but we've been playing since January, usually in the Central Ohio area, Columbus, and it's fun. You should go see a show sometime. Very enjoyable.
Excellent. You might have to talk with Aaron Ohl. I hear that he works with some bands and might be interested in booking you somewhere.
Awesome.
There you go. I put in a plug for you. So, well, Eric, thanks for being our spotlight today.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Definitely. We'll see you in around. So that was Eric Croft. He's the branch manager of the East Main Street location of Fairfield National Bank. And this has been the Young Professional Spotlight, sponsored by Cryo Communications.
As a company of young professionals, Cryo Communications is proud to sponsor this segment. We specialize in helping businesses and organizations get the right message to the right audience, at the right time, and in the right way. To learn more about Cryo Communications and how they can help you with your communication needs, visit them at cryocommunications.com. Business Forward Ribbon Cuttings is brought to you by the Frankie Smith Funeral Home. Respect for tradition, regard for change. Locations in Lancaster and Baltimore. Visit them at their website at funeralhome.com.
Okay, we've made our way out to the docks here from the showroom where you just met Tim. And again, we're back with Dave. And these are the docks here at Buckeye Lake Marina. We are situated here in Millersport on the southwest corner of the lake, if I'm correct, right?
That is right, yes.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the lake in general. Many people that live around Fairfield County and Lancaster are familiar that Buckeye Lake's here, but how about some facts in terms of how long is this lake and a little bit about it?
This is a pretty interesting lake. It was actually built for the Ohio feeder canal system in about 1820. Depending on which book you read on the amount of acreage. I always say it's about 4,000 acres, 11 miles long. Some of the books may say a little shorter, less acreage, but it's a pretty big lake. And people are astounded by the size boats we have here. And I always say it's a cottage with no grass to mow and no real estate taxes. Now, I got to be careful saying that too loud because our county auditor may say, here we go. We can do something about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it certainly has. The lake has changed a lot over the years, and your marina as well. But still, a fun place for families to come on the weekends and really throughout the week and enjoy what we have to offer here.
Well, you know what's really interesting about boating when you're in a boat with your family, you have their total attention. They're not distracted by video games or any outside influences, and so really it's a great family activity, and that's what we try to promote.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about that a little bit longer. If you own a boat and you're up on Buckeye Lake, you can stop in here, right? You have some services, some dockside services, correct?
You know, one of the things that's pretty important is being able to fuel your boat up.
Yeah.
Now, the fuel that we have is actually a recreational grade fuel, so it's designed for boats with no alcohol. So we try to provide all the services, anything that you need for your boat, and just make a happy time for everybody.
Absolutely. Along with that, let's say you don't own a boat, but you want to get the family on the lake and experience it. You guys have a rental fleet, correct?
We actually do. We rent pontoon boats primarily because this is a shallow lake,
Sure.
and it's difficult to get in trouble with a pontoon boat. But we do have rentals, and that gives you the opportunity to try out a boat and see if you enjoy it. And most generally, that's the case, and you come back and buy a boat from us.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, we've certainly enjoyed our time here at Buckeye Lake Marina. We're heading into the summer months here as this shows, as we're here filming this show today. What do the folks need to know about maybe come to visit you?
Well, one of the things I often hear is, do you have any sales going on? We always have sales going on. We try to provide the best prices for the best product out there. And so we invite you to come up and enjoy Buckeye Lake and enjoy boating.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, thanks for being on the show today. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. A big thank you to Interphase Video for helping us produce Business Forward. Again, this has been Travis Markwood with the Lancaster-Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce.